The boarded doors and abandoned houses tell a tale of a suffering city. In fact, the population of Porto has shrunk by 1/5 since the early 2000s, and according to some estimates, 30% of the buildings in the old town are abandoned. So, what effect has the financial crisis had on you?
It was work. I can't find work in my area. I used to be an artist.
I think when I finish college, I don't know if I'm going to find a job.
Have you thought of leaving the country?
Of course, because here it's tough to find a job.
And I mean, how does that make you feel, knowing that you might have to leave your country in order to survive?
Kind of sad.
When you take a look around, it's clear to see how hard the recession has hit here. You see boarded up houses, closed shops and empty streets, and that's when you realise that despite all its beauty, this is a city in trouble.
We could not go into the renovation of buildings itself because it was too expensive, and most of them were, in any case, privately owned. Many young people looked for jobs outside. And it's a problem because it's really our blood which is going abroad.
But despite the downturn, one thing has risen steadily over the years: tourism. It's up 15% since last year, and for many of the city's inhabitants, it's a welcome lifeline. Take Gui and Pedro, for example.
Guessing that you don't like this.
Unable to find work, these two Porto-born and bred architects set up as tour guides in their home city. But trust me, this is no ordinary tour. They're called the worst tours. They're trying to show the real Porto, warts and all. So, give me an overview of what this tour is all about.
I guess we started when we got the notion that the majority of the visitors to Porto stayed in a very narrow area. And so we decided to start making tours around it.
So you saw a gap in the market?
Exactly.
Gui and Pedro take me on a real mix of locations, from military sites to shopping centres, all the time giving me commentary on everything from local politics to the Portuguese economy. The only rule seems to be that if a location's a tourist hotspot, the worst tour don't go there. And in not shying away from Porto's faults, their approach is controversial. There's a tour called the Worst Tour, which claims that it will take you around Porto and show you the real Porto. What do you think about that tour?
Porto is this, is the ancient, is the modernity, is the people, it's our passion, you know, it's our gastronomy, and we should concentrate in this kind of people that, you know, that are making something for our destination and keeping the Porto in the international, you know, in the international map.
Are you worried though that this might give a bad impression?
We don't try to show the worst of the city. That's just a joke. But one of the things we usually show is the insides of the blocks outside of this area. So the backyards, the gardens, everything like that. And we try to pass on the image that Porto always has something behind the doors, you know, behind the walls, behind the city streets and behind the houses.
Now, at the end of the tour, you may not have seen the pretty side of the city, but then that's not really the point.
Yeah, that was very, very interesting, and it's certainly not your bog standard run-of-the-mill tour. Those guys were passionate and they were provocative, and one thing that I really liked was the fact that you could argue with them if you didn't agree with any of their points. In fact, they encouraged you to get into a discussion with them, and I think that added to the richness of the whole tour.
It's like a tale of two cities here in Porto. There's the one with the charming riverfront and buildings that wouldn't look out of place in a fairy tale. And then there's the other one with the recession and the everyday struggles to keep the city functional. As a tourist, it's your call whether you see both sides, but there is one place where they meet. The pride and love that the locals have for their city is obvious, and no one who comes here should leave without experiencing that.
And what are your hopes for the future in Porto?
In one word, happiness. I want the citizens to feel happy and proud about the city. We don't want to have a city which looks like any other city.